Hello and welcome to another BWhack review. Today we are going to be taking a look at Childress Racing's Goodwrench Unveil car. This is another NASCAR Classics lease, so you have the generic NASCAR Classics box, big NASCAR Classics logo, which I've always hated that it's not centered. Like, why not just center it? But I don't know. Down the side, you just have the NASCAR Classics logo again. They didn't usually, haven't they been putting like a photo of the prototype or the render just like on top of that logo before? Am I remembering that wrong? I don't know. Anyways, you got standard finish NASCAR Classics. This is number 1 of 1,932. Got NASCAR Classics, established 1948 again. Register your car at Lionel Garage. And you, of course, have your copyright and such on the bottom of the box. Here is the car itself. Now, the story behind this is it's basically just when they first unveiled Dale Earnhardt's paint scheme. This is when he was still Wrangler, and they, first unveiled, here's his brand new car and sponsor for next season, which happened to be this car that, became his iconic ride. And Lionel has, I guess, realized that if you just take Dale Earnhardt's name off the car, you can release as many Dale Earnhardt cars as your heart desires, and you don't have to pay Teresa a cent. This is really funny that they just finally realized, like, wait a minute, we can make as many Dale Earnhardt cars as we want. Which, I mean, they still haven't made any more past this one, so I don't know. Surprised they're not just going ham with that and having, making every random race version they can think of. But definitely cool to get a very unique version of his paint scheme like this. And they will get credit. They did give it a red interior, because when they first showed this car off for, the prototype or sample or whatever, it was missing the red interior. It just had, gray interior. And everyone's like, that car's still supposed to have a red interior. So, luckily, they did fix that. The only other thing that they should have fixed was that the 3 looked a little bit different. This is more of the typical 3 you would think for a Dale Earnhardt car, but for some reason on the Unveil car it went farther down. It was almost all the way down. It curved down way more at the bottom. If you go look at photos of the car, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it is just a very neat, like I said, this is a very cool piece of history for Dale Earnhardt fans. I've always loved the version of this car with the metallic silver number instead of the white number for some reason. I don't know. It didn't last very long, but it's cool. The chrome rims really do just make this car pop. But anyways, let's get down to sponsors. On the hood, you have GM Goodwrench. Got Chevrolet number 3. Down the side, you got Goodwrench. You got Wrangler jeans right there. On the C-post, you have a GM logo that's for some reason crooked on both sides. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, or it just looks kind of weird that it's for some reason slightly crooked. They get all the retro contingencies up front. You have the correct NASCAR Cup Series logo this time instead of the weird 70s one they've been putting on every single car. Does have the Busch Polaroid logo and everything. So this was a very simple car when there was just them unveiling the new paint scheme and sponsor. I'm pretty sure by the time the next year, I don't think that Wrangler logo was there, but I don't remember 100%. On the back, you got GM Goodwrench number 3. On the deck lid, you have Goodwrench. This is number 1,131. This is obviously long before the days of roof sponsors or roof flaps or any of that stuff. Got the same stuff down the other side. Let's take a look under the hood. Got a whole lot of nothing under there. There's the engine detail if you want to see that. Deck lid does open. You got your typical fuel cell and such back there. Like I said before, obviously no roof flaps by this point. And there's the inner side of the car if you want to see that beautiful bright red chassis. So just a unique diecast. This is definitely cool they offered something like this. Like I said, I'm curious how many cars they're going to release like this now that are just listed as Childress Racing. So far they've done this, and was the I'm blanking. I think the Coke 600 when we took a look at last year, that actually did say Dale Earnhardt, didn't it? It's kind of the same thing with the they just recently released that Hendrick Motorsports test car, the white number 5 test car that was run by Dale Earnhardt or tested by Dale Earnhardt, but they just completely ignore that. Again, it's very obvious why they're not putting this as a Dale Earnhardt car, but it's funny that they just only now realize that loophole. So I'm curious how far they're going to go with that now. I'd rather get a bunch of these than a bunch of the Jeff Gordon Rainbow cars, because at least these seem to have all the logos they're supposed to have. Or at least 90% of the logos they're supposed to have, instead of those Hendrick Jeff Gordon cars that seem to be missing 90% of the logos. Well, you even got that, the most recent one, the Dover win from the 90s. that has the wrong race date on the deck list. Oh, that's funny. But said Lionel pretty much nailed this car. I said the only thing they could have tweaked is maybe made the number font a little bit different, but I'm sure that's some like trademark thing where they didn't want to do like the slightly different number fonts. But I will give them credit for updating to the red chassis because a lot of people did point that out when they first revealed this diecast. So we'll always give Lionel credit when they actually update and fix something like that. If you want this card as a brand new release, you can get it right now. I would say this is not going to get rare because it's got a high number, but at the same time, that Coke 600 win actually is already rare. I was not expecting that, but just because cars have higher numbers doesn't always mean that they're going to not get rare. I think a lot of people miss that point, like how recently Ross Chastain's his Hail Melon car. That one had almost like 2,000 or 2,000 plus, and guess what? That's rare now. The Red Bull cars are going to have a crazy amount made this year, and guess what? Those are going to get rare, so I don't know. Remember, for all of your diecast needs, you can go to circlebdiecast.com, and if you use the code BWhack, you can get $5 off shipping on any order over $30. So go check that if you want anything. But I've answered for all there is to say. This has been a review of Richard Childress Racing's Goodwrench Unveil car from 1988. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.